If you're in sales and you work in business to business services, you need to ensure you look good on LinkedIn. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the key things you need to put in place if you want to make sure that when clients or prospects look at your profile on LinkedIn, they think, that's the person I want to work with. My name is James White, small business sales expert, man that loves helping business owners and sales professionals get brilliant sales results. Let's look at the things you've got to put in place on LinkedIn to get the results that you want. Let's have a look at the video. So LinkedIn is a critical tool for us in business. It was set up years ago, it's now owned by Microsoft, and if you're not on LinkedIn and don't have a LinkedIn profile for your business development purposes, you're probably missing out on huge amounts of opportunities. It's used by millions of professionals all around the world, and it's a great way to start looking at people, seeing who they are and find out a bit more about them. So if you're a business professional, if you want to make sure that you stand out on LinkedIn, here's a few things to take into account. Point number one is this. What does your photo or lack of photo say about you? When I look at people on LinkedIn, the first thing I want to try and do is get an assessment of who they are. And I'm looking for a professional photo that makes them come across as professional, friendly and engaging. I'm not looking for some stern looking thing that makes me feel that they're not approachable. One of the key criteria we have to have as salespeople is make people want to have a conversation with us. So putting on there a really good professional photo that you can use is essential. There are tools you can use, of course, to tighten up the approach, and I wish I could get rid of my grey hair and chins, but the reality is it's who I am. Make sure that the professional photo that you use is up to date and has been used in the last couple of years and doesn't necessarily show you as being a really, really slim person if the weight's got on you and you've put a bit of package on. The reality is it's got to reflect who you are, but make sure that the person that looks at them thinks, yeah, I like the look of that person. They're smiling, they're engaging, makes me want to have a conversation with them. Your photo is your starting point to the world, and it's critical in LinkedIn that it makes it look good. Now you can also be even a step further and put a video up on that profile. And if that's something you want to do, that's another way of standing out from the crowd. But to make sure, if you want to just do the starting points, make sure you have a good professional photo that makes you look good and that makes the other person think, I'm keen to have a conversation with them. So point number two about your LinkedIn profile is make sure that that headline element that you use is strong and says everything about you that you want to come across. That key message, that key set of information there is, again, the really critical part that makes the person want to have a further look at your profile and what you've achieved and decide if they want to engage in a conversation with you. And sometimes the more information I see that people put in there, the more that they share about what they're about and how they should work with that person, it makes them think, A, they take LinkedIn seriously, and also that they're able to share and show time for the other person to know if they're a good fit to work or to have a conversation with or to look to follow. The key thing is that's your gateway to the world. It's your initial message, your initial brand offering. So if your message just says salesperson, the chances are it's probably not going to engage your audience. But if you put in there helping customers in X, Y, and Z industry solve challenges that they face, working with people to make things better, it's going to make that person look at it and thinking, okay, this person's quite helpful and useful. Use information there that's key and that's vital. Don't over put information in and don't put war and peace in there, but put enough that makes them think, yeah, I want to really start to look a bit more at this person and what they're about. So the third point is this. In LinkedIn, there's an About You section that enables you to write probably 300-400 words, maybe more, of actually what you do and a bit more about you as a person. And it's really key that you look for key words within that profile that define what you're about as a person. What does it stand for? What matters to you? Why are you in the job that you're doing? What makes that so critical for you? What are you passionate about? What gets you excited? What are the things that make other people want to have a connection with you? And what are the things that maybe you don't want to see people do, that you don't enjoy? That About section is a critical way in which you can demonstrate, again, some of the things that you love doing. And if you're focused on saying, I love spending money and earning money from clients, then don't expect lots of people to come to you. But if you talk about how you're about helping and supporting and giving value and solving problems for a specific group of people or for people in a certain area, then it's going to make those people, hopefully, that have found your profile intrigued. It's going to make them want to have a little follow you or maybe have a look at groups that you're in. The key thing is that about information, and then underneath that, the key information that you might share around studies or customer information or examples of work you've done is another great way to profile what you do and make people intrigued by you. Some people will have their settings turned off so that they can't actually see, so you can't see who's looking at your profile. But if they're looking at details about you and what you're looking to do, it's going to make them consider you in their mind. And it may not mean they do business with you straight away, but it's hopefully going to keep you in their forefront of their mind or the back of their mind. So if they see a post that you've put out that goes viral in the future, they think, oh, there's that person again. I know they're linked to this. The keywords in the about section basically start to pigeonhole you or create a profile for you in that person's mind. And the more specific you are, the more things you can help with, the more things that you can say that you do for that person, the more likely that they're going to remember you when it comes to thinking about something that they need in the future. So we all love to use stories. So a great way in which you can get other people engaging with our profiles is to start sharing some stories about what it is you do and how you make an impact in people's world. Talking about one of the key challenges of Industry X is this happening, and 4 years ago this and this happened. You're getting people to picture a scenario, and storytelling is a great way for us as salespeople to talk about us in a way that maybe excites other people rather than just saying, I've done this, this and this. Being able to talk about how you've overcome big challenges or help people achieve incredible things is going to hopefully make that person think you're someone that they want to reach out to and engage with and have a conversation with. The other key element around making sure that you share this information is to share then your history and what you've achieved and what you've done. One of the key things that we all sometimes forget is things we've achieved and what we've made happen. And it's important that people use LinkedIn to actually assess and test out whether the person they're talking to is someone they want to have that conversation with. So put out your accolades, the things you've achieved, the things you've done, and make sure that people can actually see that whilst you're not going to boast about them in a conversation at the first instance, that if you're a member of an organisation, you've achieved a qualification, that they can see that you've got those things and it matters to you and it's part of who you are in your DNA. The reality is when we share stories and we tell people facts and information that they can then go out and check for themselves, it helps build a profile and credibility of who we are, and that gives them a sense of whether we're someone that we want to engage with or work with. And even if it's not today, it gives them that sense that you do have knowledge, you have insights, you understand the dynamics of people and commercial thinking, and it can make them think you're someone to consider for maybe in the future. So the next key point is regularly update it. When I look at LinkedIn profiles of people and I see that the last time they've made a post or updated something was years ago, it makes me think they don't really care much about the platform, and it makes me think they're not really relevant for me. And if they're in the sales world and doing that, I'm definitely probably not interested. It makes me think that they don't care about building a brand and building their profile to be able to generate business. So I always encourage you to post on a regular basis. There's lots of people that will argue whether you should post once a day or 3 times a week, but the reality is be regular, be visible. Make sure when someone looks at your profile, they can see it's active and that you're liking and sharing, and hopefully ideally putting posts out that add value to your network and the people you work with. I'm a big believer, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, I'll put the profile link here, I'm continually sharing ideas and tips and thoughts on how to engage people and how to get better sales results. And I tell people that in the profile that where they would follow me is if they want to gain sales insights. Of course, the reality is I'm looking forward to sharing information on what we do and how we can help people, but I'm focused on giving value and sharing information before I look into try and expect people to come and buy from me. I want people to get a sense of who I am and how I'm there to support and help them rather than focus on what's just right for me. So be in a position where you get that profile updated. Try and put a post out there on something that matters to you. Maybe share a photo when you were doing something, or maybe share a resource that can help other people. But I really encourage you to focus not on selling on those posts. Focus on giving rather than just trying to sell. Those people that put social media posts that say, do you want to contact me and reach for business, generally don't work. Those people that give and that share ideas and that share stories that other people can gain inspiration from get better results. So the next key point around LinkedIn is to try and make sure you get recommendations. You'll notice lots of people ask other people to be recommended for certain skills or for certain work they've done. And it's a great way, if you've got existing customers in a specific industry that you've done great work with, to go and ask them, would they recommend you on LinkedIn? If I was looking, for example, to work with a certain type of person and I saw someone similar to me had recommended this person, it would build my ideas and thoughts around him. We want to be in a position where we're showcasing our great work and what we're doing. And testimonials and working with people that you connect with that love the work that you do and showcase that and tell other people about that publicly is a brilliant way to build that trust and that thought process around that person. So go and reach out to some of your customers. Ask them if they can create the testimonial for you. And maybe even suggest some words that they can use so it makes it easy for them to then go and submit that information. We all know it takes time and effort, but if you can give them the advice and maybe share some ideas on what to say and make it easy for them, that recommendation on your profile is going to go a long way to helping other people, maybe in similar industries, think you're the person they want to speak to. So the final point that I encourage people to focus on when it comes to LinkedIn and their profile is make sure you add contact information and give a strong call to action. So many people within LinkedIn basically forget to leave some of the basic details, and of course someone can reach out to you and message you if they've got the ability to do that. But sometimes people may not want to reach out directly and engage with you there and then, because that means that they're going to be into a sales conversation, which they don't want to do. But maybe you've got a link to a guide, to a resource, for example, that they can get access to, that is a softer way for them to engage with you. The key thing to focus on is when you're doing this, make sure that they're clear about what you want to be able to leave them with that can help them. And if you're specific about solving a specific problem for an industry or a set of customers, then give them access to that resource. Give them things that mean they can get something without having to have that conversation with you. Because what it will do is it will build value of who you are in their mind, and it will make them more inclined to then have that conversation knowing that you focus on helping them solve issues. The key thing is when you're doing this is leave information, so if you want to be contacted you can be, but leave some resources, leave some materials that can help people gain value from your insight and knowledge. And if you do that, it's going to hopefully put them in a better position to open that conversation and start things up. So there you have it. There are a few thoughts on how you can use LinkedIn as a salesperson to engage and hopefully build rapport and the right type of contacts to enable you to do business. The reality is it's such a powerful platform that we all need to be using it as business to business people, and it can help us generate new opportunities and also showcase our profile to other people we don't know yet. What I would say to you about LinkedIn is if you use it effectively with a focus on sharing ideas and value rather than just trying to sell to people directly, you'll gain great things from it. But when you try and sell to people directly and start to focus on what's right for you and don't focus on actually how you can give value to your network, the chances are you get pigeonholed as a person to avoid. By the way, if you're watching this video and you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, please do so. My link is there. But if you go into that with an intention to sell to me straight away and want to push things to me straight away, please be prepared for me to then block you or unfriend you. The reality is this: if you focus on giving and serving before you try and sell, focus on being a valuable person, focus on helping, adding inspiration and ideas to your audience, and come across as that great, lovely person that you are, and make sure that your photo looks good and your information's right and you give people clear information to use and engage with you, then you can make LinkedIn an incredibly powerful tool for you and your business. But how do you use LinkedIn? What's worked for you? What are some of the tips that you use? I'd love you to put in the comment section below what's worked for you. Let me know so we can share that with other people, and I can maybe even share that with other people in my community, and I'll learn from you as well. I'm always on the lookout for learning about new ways in which I can improve the way I do things, and I know that LinkedIn is a powerful tool that's going to be around for years to come that can help us all as business people achieve great results. So if you put these elements in place, it's going to help you get better success. It's going to make sure you're positioned in the right way and hopefully ensure that you as a salesperson get the results that you want to achieve the career goals you have. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel, share it with others, and let's make sure we get everyone using LinkedIn in a powerful way to get great results.